rid of the ones that are not. So what does this practical framework look like? From pilot to performance, what does this look like? So let me give you a practical framework for moving beyond failed pilots to successful AI implementation. This really draws directly from the observe, define, create principle in the Visionary Leader book. Number one is observe. Study your organization's workflow and identify bottlenecks along the way. Number two is understand where human expertise is essential versus where automation adds value, meaning complementary. I call it complementary effectiveness. Listen to your teams about their pain points and needs and find a solution through AI or collaborative efforts of the functional groups themselves. Number four is monitor emerging AI capabilities and trends to see how you can integrate those with what you're currently working on to make it more efficient or effective or adaptable. Number two, define. Articulate a clear vision on how AI will transform your organization. Set clear, specific, measurable objectives for AI initiatives. Number three is create a roadmap that connects current pilots to future capabilities. And the third piece is create. 4 points here. First, start with high impact, achievable projects that align with your vision. Number two is invest in the infrastructure and talent needed to support AI at scale. If you don't have the tools and resources, you're going to fail. And it's okay to fail, but don't set yourself up for it. You need to have a team that will fail, but have the passion around the vision and the execution of the AI programs to succeed. Create feedback loops. Scale successes and learn from failures quickly. So let's take a look at real world success. Hey, when you've got all this in place, what does it look like from a reality perspective? So let me paint you a picture of what success looks like. Well, 95% of companies are failing. The 5% who get it right aren't just surviving, by the way, they're thriving. Take Lumen Technology, which projects $50 million in annual savings from AI tools. They're not achieving this by deploying ChatGPT enterprise-wide and hoping for the best. They're doing it by a couple measures. Let me give you four. They align AI implementation with strategic business goals. Number two, they invest in employee training and change management. Number three, they're measuring business impact regularly and consistently and providing that feedback to the executive team and the team members themselves. And they are constantly iterating based on real-world performance, meaning they're adaptive and flexible. This is visionary leadership in action with tangible results set through a vision. Using AI not to do the same things faster, but to fundamentally transform what's possible in their organization. And what does this leadership imperative with AI look like? It is imperative that you implement AI, get that. But the leadership imperative is bigger. And here's what every leader needs to understand is the AI revolution isn't about technology, it's about leadership. And the same principles that enable visionary leaders to implement any transformational initiative successfully apply it directly to AI. They don't care if it's technology, they know it's bred through leadership. The 95% failure rate isn't a technology problem, it's a leadership problem, as I'd mentioned earlier. And that means it is solvable, which is the good news. The bad news is too many leaders don't take this advice. Visionary leaders are bridging the gap between imagination and reality by seamlessly integrating AI with strategic thinking, effective communication, and decisive action. They're not just implementing AI tools, they possess the leadership insight to guide their teams towards successfully realizing AI's potential, leaving a lasting impact in organizations and the industries that they serve and disrupting wherever they can. So, kind of in conclusion here, we've gone through a lot, and I tell you, AI can be confusing, it can be hard to implement, it can be hard to understand, it can be hard to integrate into your teams. I get all that. But you got a choice before you today. Every leader faces a choice. You can join that 95% who treat AI as a technological problem, implementing pilots that fail, wasted resources, ultimately achieving no measurable return whatsoever. Or you can join the 5% who treat AI as a leadership opportunity. You align it with your vision, you build adaptive capabilities, you empower your teams, and you create a sustainable competitive advantage. The principles that distinguish between these two groups, they're not new. They're the same principles that have always separated visionary leaders from operational managers. And I lay this out in the book. And it's amazing how consistently great visionary leaders are and how few people take their advice. So starting with a compelling vision rather than tactical solutions is your first point. You understand the landscape before taking action, and you build adaptable learning organizations. You empower your teams, and you gain buy-in from them. And you measure what matters, and you iterate relentlessly. So these are all points you've got a choice on. And I would highly recommend, number one, again, remember it's not the technology, it's the leadership, the strategy, the vision, and the stepped process that you need to take in order to be successful. Be part of the 5%, not the 95%. So some